What's up, guys? Last week I picked up this parts car and I want to talk about why I bought it and how I bought it essentially. Now that the tarp has been unveiled, this is my parts car for my 88 Justy build. This is a 2007 Subaru Impreza WRX. It is, because it's in the 07, I believe it's 06 to 08 or somewhere around there. They have the EJ25, which Subaru made it really easy in the earlier years because E stands for engine, J I forget what it stands for, but 2.5 means that it's the 2.5 liter. And the EJ20, which is in the prior to this one and after this one until 2014, is essentially, it is a 2 liter. So this was named simplistically, and this one I got off auction. As you can see, they're dents all around, but the main problem is there's kind of no hood. But also, this radiator's bent in, some tubes are bent in. I hope the timing's not messed up, but regardless, I'm gonna take it all apart and check for any issues. I'm gonna get a new radiator, of course, and basically have to drop all this and hopefully put it in there. So as you can see, the suspension has been dropped in the Justy as well as the engine. That's because I want to take the subframe out of this car and put it in the Justy to make it wider. So I bought this car off of Copart. It was kind of a bit of a struggle, but eventually I got it done. So essentially, I had to drive to Salt Lake City because I wanted to save money because I already spent crap ton on this car. I want to save money, so I took the dolly that I had. So that's a good way to save money if you know someone who has one of those. And the issue is, this is an all-wheel drive car. So I had to disconnect the drivetrain, but the drivetrain had bolts that are kind of hidden inside and they didn't want to come off. So I had the wrenches and they were just sliding. So essentially I was just stripping the bolts and I didn't want to fully strip the bolts. So I ended up just pulling it out. It was not the recommended procedure. I bolted it back in the drivetrain and it was kind of just twirling around the whole way home. But I was able to drive all the way home from Salt Lake City, which is about a 12-hour drive. I think it was like 14 with the car because my car, I was driving a Foreigner, so it's much slower with a trailer. So this car also has a few just upgrades to it. I don't know exactly what's done to it. That's gonna be a fun time finding out what's been built to this car. And there are people just driving around, which is fun. Great. So, as I said, I bought this car off Copart, but it is a run and drive, which is super nice. So that's brake, not clutch. Starts up. They even gave me some gas, which is nice. And I don't know if the batteries, what's wrong with the battery, because it's showing cold, which is normal, but also there's no code, which, as you can see, that's my exhaust, so that shouldn't be there. There's no check engine light, but there also, there probably should be. It was a smoker's car, but the interior is decent, not bad. And my plan is to take apart the whole car and sell all the interior and exterior bits anyways, and just basically have not even a shell, to have a frame. It does smell like something's burning, but that could be from the fact that it doesn't have an exhaust and it's just going straight down. We'll see. So now I'm going to lift it and start taking everything apart. As you can see, it's evening time. Basically, that's the only time that I can comfortably work because it's 100 degrees right now in the summer. But I'll try to get what I can. But this is going to be the engine that goes into our beautiful Subaru Justy. So it's been a couple days. I've done a little bit of work to the WRX engine. As you can see, it is out of the car. So this is the 2.5 180,000 miles, and you can see that in the engine. There's a little bit of residue on the engine in several different places. There is the aftermarket intake. So I have decided that I'm going to do a head gasket change because of this, and just because I don't want to have issues down the line. I'm going to change the head gaskets. That's probably going to be a video unto itself, but I would just want to show you guys the basic premise of what I plan to do with this, because this was the project. Now this is what it's going to become. I'm also going to use the rear subframe, but I want to take this, all of this, and somehow find a way to move it from there into there. That is the ultimate goal. This will be taken out. This thing's almost empty. It's going to be cleaned out, and then this is going to be painted. I still have to decide what color the car is going to be, whether I'm going to keep it silver or whether I'm going to paint it a different color. I don't know. I might try to Rydell can that and see if I can pass it off, but I might want to keep it original. So there's a lot of things that I have to come up with, like fabricate, like the frame underneath. As you can see, that the transmission well is not going to fit it, and all this stuff, I'm going to have to cut some stuff just to fit everything. The EJ legitimately will fit here and here. It's quite big, but it should fit. There has been, I believe, one or a couple of people who have done it before, so that gets my hopes up for this build. And hopefully I don't have to change much else, because I don't want to spend too much money on this. This was already a bit, however, I still need to post the parts up on OfferUp, so hopefully I can get a fair chunk of my money back. Other than that, I need to get a drivetrain that will fit that car. I'm going to need a shifter. If this one won't fit, I'm going to maybe need another one, and maybe a couple other bits. I might get a new manifold. I might get some other stuff and I might tune it up. But right now, the main focus is to put it in that car, and that's about it, because I'm still gonna have to find a way to fit the suspension in. Right now, it's just going to be moving this. I'm planning on putting it on the dolly and rolling it around, because that won't fit through there, and it's easier to just put it on the dolly. Hopefully that's going to be possible, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to part that out. Basically, finish this, put that in there, wire it up. My brother-in-law will help me with wiring, get all the lines ready, get everything in. There are a few little things that I want to add to it that I'll show you guys when the time comes, but this is the basic idea. Engine in there, drivetrain, make everything run, and hopefully possibly get it registered. So stay tuned for the rest of it. There are some other builds that are going to come onto the project that I will talk about in a second. I hope you guys liked that video. Stay tuned for more on this project. I'm going to get to work on that right now. However, the next few videos won't be about this project. Instead, it'll be other little things that I've made that I wanted to show you guys. Like, for instance, this garage. I want to show you guys how I made that for under $300, where you can put it in your own backyard and you can work on cars without being in your garage, without taking up garage space. Another one is I made a ducktail for one of my other cars, and it's using fiberglass. So if you guys ever wanted to see what I made mistakes, but just to see what else you could do, because it was my first time doing something, so you could learn from what I did. So in a couple of weeks, this car will be back, and I'll see what's going to happen with it. Hopefully the engine, hopefully the next week I'll show you guys, not next week, in a couple of weeks I'll show you guys how to change the head gaskets on an EJ or any other engine actually, but I'll show you how I'm changing on the EJ, and then me putting it into this car. Hopefully that'll be up soon, but if anything, have a good day.